you might begin to notice that the simple act of paying attention, it's already a kind of prayer. Each time you focus on a single sound or breath or thought, you're reminding the universe that you're participating. And sometimes the mind, like a young apprentice, forgets its tools on the bench, wandering off into stories, memories, glittering distractions. When you bring it back kindly, you teach it craftsmanship. That is concentration. Now imagine a vast workshop lit by a single skylight. Every time you return to focus, another window opens. Light falls on corners you hadn't noticed before. Intuition, empathy, curiosity. Each tool already waiting to be used. When you reach for one, you discover the skill grows not from strain, but from the patient rhythm of returning. Divine will isn't a thunderbolt. It's the steady current underneath every river. When your small choices align with that current, you begin to move with less effort, like a sail finally catching the wind it was designed for. And of course the mind asks, what happens if I don't? Nothing dramatic, just slow drift. Projects half finished, intuition ignored. The faint ache of, I know I could do more. That's the cost of scattering light. The benefit of focus is the opposite. Everything begins to shine from the same source. Perhaps science would say, neurons that fire together wire together. Perhaps spirit would say, energy follows attention. Either way, you're building pathways. Roads of will that become highways of possibility. Every deliberate return to focus pours a little concrete under those roads. Soon, ideas travel faster, messages become clearer, and you trust the traffic of your own intuition. There's a kind of playful seriousness to it, like a child building a tower of blocks, knowing that each brick matters, but laughing when it falls, because rebuilding is also learning. Concentration with laughter is sustainable. Divine will with humour stays human. And if you follow this practice through the seasons, you might notice that coincidences align, that conversations arrive on time, then what once felt separate begins to weave. You call it synchronicity. The universe calls it good timing. Some people, they'll miss it because they expect fireworks. You'll smile knowing real ignition happens quietly, in the calm static of doing what must be done, without needing applause. That's the mature form of power. Light that doesn't need to shout. So from now on, just breathe once, deliberately. Feel how attention gathers like a lens. Remember that every return to focus is a small act of creation. And as you leave this, carry one simple sentence in your pocket. I choose to notice. Repeat it whenever the noise gets loud. Each repetition turns that sentence into a way of being. And that, in the end, is how concentration becomes will. Will becomes clarity. Clarity becomes freedom. And freedom quietly creates its own light.